Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Swiss. Today I'm going to tell you about my land purchase, my most recent land purchase. I'm sure some of you have played around with the thought of maybe buying land in Decentraland. Particularly, I have to be honest, the timing seems to be right. If you ever were in the market for land, the prices have come down significantly. Now it's always difficult to say. We're coming down from a significant hype in the metaverse space, so prices could go down forever, for sure. But at some point you have to pull the trigger, and I just did do it again. So we're looking at the map right now. I just want to quickly show you where I bought this land. It's approximately here where you see that little red cursor. It is an area which I believe used to be called District X. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we are out of this whole district ecosystem for a while now, but initially when Decentraland was launched, they divided up the parcels by districts to a significant portion, and communities tried to form around those districts, but many quickly failed and others took time to fail. And there was a lot of controversy around this particular district here. And however, it is actually quite built out. There is a lot of stuff happening on it. I believe it's partly related to the fact that there was a building concept back in the days, and I also participated in it, and a lot of these people who have buildings on it actually received, particularly in this area here, received just access to lands to build on, but they don't actually own this land. And what's another particularity of this district is that you have these roads. These are private roads. They're black here. These are not the official roads that in white color that you can see everywhere else. So these are private roads. It's usually a sign that the district is fairly rich and has larger plans, so that they actually sacrifice all of these lands just to build out infrastructure. Now, for some reason, some of these land is now coming onto the market. There are private sellers. They are apparently also maybe the original manager of the district is potentially throwing these onto the market. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't think we should be shying away from buying land in all of these districts if they're available for sale. This is regular land. It is a lively neighborhood that is a little bit built out. So I'm going to show you where exactly we are at. Hold on a second. By the way, now let's first go and see the actual land. Hold on. So this is how the district looks like. As you can see, a lot of self-made builds are here, and I'm immediately going to show you this 9-piece property that I was immediately interested in. So I already deployed my classic building here that I also use in a different location for a 6-land property. As you can see, it looks really nice here on these two corners, surrounded by these streets. Now, unfortunately, these are not native official Decentraland streets, and that is actually also an issue that I'm facing. So these 3 parcels that I'm running over right now, these are regular lands which I own, but I cannot edit these lands for now. The reason being that this model that represents the road is been deployed all across this district, and it takes us straight through my land, so I cannot publish over it, or I cannot unpublish it to put something in its place. And that is a problem, because now I have 30% of land that I cannot actually use. So I'm trying to figure out how we can do this. I've contacted multiple people on Discord, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve this. Guys, if you're watching this, please give me a helping hand. I would really like to do something on this road here. I was thinking of potentially extending this building and making some sort of tunnel over this street, so you could actually still run through the building, but I could still build above it. I think it would be really cool to build a structure over 9 lands, because it will allow me to build significantly higher than what I already have now. I would really like to try this to see how far we can go here, and for this I need a larger foundation, and this would be possible here. Now, I was thinking, okay, hey, why don't we just build on 6 and use the increased limitation of the 9-piece property. Now the thing is, I had to split off these 3 lands in order to be able to build on the other 6. So these 3 lands are not part of the estate anymore. There are 3 separate parcels in the wallet. So unfortunately, I had to do this to immediately deploy at least something, but I cannot benefit from additional height restrictions. So I absolutely need to solve the issue. Now let's have a quick look at the marketplace right now. So it's always a difficult question whether it's a good time to buy land, whether you should buy land in the first place. And I'm just going to share some basic thoughts on it. Every now and again I do a video on this topic because it's just an interesting and probably also very relevant and one of the key components of Decentraland, this whole idea of land ownership, right? So friends, you can look at different periods in time and you can see that price fluctuations were insane, particularly if you measure it in USD. If you look at it in, well, I mean, even in MANA, the price fluctuations were crazy. For example, this land plot here is a very good deal. It's 25 lands for 21,000 MANA. That's crazy. I'm telling you, in 2020, you could buy one land for 21,000 MANA. And now you can buy 25 lands. So it pretty much shows you how much MANA went up in value. What used to buy only one land buys now 25 lands. So that's a 25x improvement of MANA over land NFTs. So this kind of gives you an idea how great of an investment land is. It's a terrible investment, or at least it has been until now. You are always much better off holding MANA, and particularly now in the bear market, it looks like not only was it a better investment in the bull market, but it's also a safer investment in the bear market because MANA is liquid and can be sold anytime, whereas these lands are extremely illiquid and can be sold only at massive discounts in the bear market. So right now we are kind of at the end of the bear market, potentially, at least that's what many believe. So if you still want to own land, now would be a time to think about it. When I see these kind of offers though, I'm realizing that the dollar value for one land is actually very attractive. So let's just have a look how much this would cost. So 21,000 MANA divided by 25 lands, that is 840 MANA per land. Now let's multiply it by 0.3, which is the exchange rate to US dollars. So this is $250 per land. This is a pretty good deal. Now imagine the very early OGs in 2019 where, if I recall it, I haven't been around, but if from what I know is true, they paid around $100 per land at the very beginning. And at the top of the bull market, people were ready to pay, let me pick a figure because the values are very different for each transactions, but let's say maybe up to $12,000 and more per land. Yeah, I think so. You have to imagine, right? From $100 up to $12,000. This is probably the range. I think it went even higher, but reasonably, with if you really wanted to sell, you could have probably sold a land for 5,000 to 6,000 MANA, and at the current price back then, this would have been easily around $12,000. So the multiples were very significant. Now, of course, if you compare it to MANA during this mania phase just went a lot higher. So as a speculation vehicle, MANA was the better choice. And now the question is, will this remain the same? Maybe not, maybe yes. It's a tough one. Should Decentraland get an incredible level of adoption and building and owning property will be very desirable, potentially these lands would be much more valuable than now, and you can actually scroll through some of the other lands on the market and you will realize a lot of the pricing is not as attractive as $250 per plot. We can actually look at the parcel prices and just see what is the cheapest price right now. So these lands are not road connected, so they are not prime, but that is okay. And they're at 940. Let's have a look. So the other land we looked at was at 840 per parcel. The cheapest land is at 940. So this is approximately the market price right now. Between 800 and 900 MANA, you can buy land in non-prime location. This is kind of the benchmark. And then you will see that a lot of people are pricing these a lot higher, sometimes based on the idea that it's a road connected. And since we have a roadmap where we are going to prioritize foot traffic a little bit through selective teleportation systems, maybe that could become a major advantage and should fetch higher prices. I don't know. I'm not 100% speculating on this. I'm interested in the best deal possible on an estate. And now we're looking at the cheapest ones independent of the size. So you can actually, if you sort it by cheapest available to buy estates and you start scrolling down, you get a pretty good idea. If you see a big estate suddenly appear in the middle of the smaller estates, like here all of them are 2 and 3 land parcel estates, 3 lands, and suddenly you have 4, and then you have a 9-piece estate. So now you can actually have a look, is this price really good? I mean, would you rather buy 9 lands here for 14,000, or would you rather buy 2 lands for 15 in a similarly uninteresting area? So obviously you would be more interested in something like this. This seems to be also a district that is selling out its constituent estates, and potentially you could face an issue like I faced, where you have roads that you cannot remove, but that's the risk you take. So this is pretty much the technique. You scroll through the marketplace and you look for outliers like this one here. This is a big outlier. This is a really good deal. If you are ready to deal with the roads issue, I believe this is just a neighboring property to me. Maybe they have the same kind of issue. But other than this, it sounds like a great deal if you can come up with this amount of money. This is probably around $6,500 for this huge plot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But remember, guys, at the top of the bull market in 2022, this money would have bought you half a parcel, and now you could get 25. So this is the difference. This is the opportunity. If you are into Decentraland and you want to stick around, you believe in it, you have to make a choice whether MANA is the right vehicle or land. And it's a tough choice for sure. I mean, we can only look back at history. If you want to build something big and tall, and if you believe the scarcity will be crazy and Decentraland will be like the #1 spot for all the big brands to have a base, maybe that is your opportunity. Long story short, I have had some issues deploying with the Creators Hub, I have to be honest. But I was able to deploy using the Legacy SDK 6 tool. So, but this is, I'm not sure if this is related to what I have as a file. Maybe there is a way to fix that, but that's not the primary issue right now. Right now, I just want to resolve that issue with the with these 3 land parcels here. Alright guys, I hope this was interesting. I realize that a lot of these videos are very niche and probably interesting only to a handful of people. I can see that over a week's time we probably have around 100 views on these topics, somewhere around 5 to 10 likes per video. So there is a limited amount of interest in watching these type of videos, but maybe it's worth it. I think in the last cycle a lot of people came later on and they went back and kind of watched the backlog of videos just to get themselves up to speed. So I'm trying to make these kind of realistic videos where I show problems that I have and the reflections I have when I make an investment or when I try to build something or when I explore something. So hopefully this is also useful to you. At this moment I would say this is it. I'll tune out, take it easy, and I see you in the next video. Take care guys.